Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Trackside Broadcasting. It's the start of a new week, and there's no better way to kick it off than some on-track high-speed competition. As always, before we get underway, I'd like to thank the Tanzo Racing Group for hosting this league and letting us bring you all the action this season. And also thank you to our sponsors, Spectre Racing, Clark St. James Motorsports, and Murby Goes. Please make sure to share the YouTube link as well to your friends and family so more people can support your favourite drivers. Right now, we are on race 5 of 8 tonight at the Red Bull Ring, a lovely, short, fast-flowing track with crazy curves, and where the drivers will have to be very careful about the track limits around here. But before we begin, joining me in the booth, as always, will be my co-host and right-hand man in broadcasting, a man who brings all the energy and a great sense of humour too. So let's get him in here with me and say our hellos. Good evening, Gaz. How are we doing today?
Well, good evening, Jimmy. I am fantastic. It's Monday night. We're back racing again. But no, I'm brilliant, mate. I'm brilliant. How are you? How's your week been? Have you had a good one?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. Thank you for asking.
No, it's a good one, mate. And like I said, we are back racing, and everyone can see where we are this week. We are at the Red Bull Ring. Jimmy, what is your thoughts on this fantastic track? Because I know this is one of your favourites.
Yeah, I really like this one. It's such a wide track. It's easy to drive to an extent. It's one of those tracks that it's easy to get around, but it's hard to maximize the speed around here, if you get what I mean. So yeah, it's gonna reward the drivers that can really push to 110% and get the most out of the car and the track limits here. As you can see, look at that. You can see them using all the curb already, going as wide as they possibly can, using every like millimeter possible. So yeah, it's a good one, and yeah, because of how wide it is, it's a good track for battling, I'd say.
No, it really, really is, Jimmy, and it's such a brilliant track. Me and you have spoken about this on so many times, and we've raced on it so many times, though. And I know how good it is. I'm sure the guys at home who are familiar with these kind of tracks know how much of a great track this is. We should hopefully get some really good racing this evening. And as you can see in the background, we are already underway with the qualifying. But before we jump down to trackside and have a look at how everybody's getting on, Jim, do you just want to quickly remind everybody how it works here in the Tanzo Racing Group?
Yep, so we are on race obviously 5 of 8, as I mentioned before, here at Austria in the Red Bull Ring. We start with a 15 minutes closed qualifying session, so that's what we're on now, and we're currently 7.5 minutes into that. With closed qualifying, it means the drivers are on track on their own, so they can set the best lap times possible without having to worry about anyone else out there, and then they can get the best spot on the grid that they can. After that, we have a brief 5 minute warm up for the drivers so they can do with that whatever they would like, whether they want to get some extra practice in, a little bathroom break, or maybe make themselves a little cup of tea. And after that, we're on to the 60-minute race.
There we go. So let's have a jump down to track now. We are just coming to 8 minutes into qualifying. So we've got about 7 minutes left to go. And there you go, Jimmy. A few familiar names that we used to see sitting at the top of those leaderboards. Michael Gray leading the way again, currently at the moment in P1 for the elites. We've got John Harleylow leading the way in the pros. We've seen Otto Karras leading it up there in recent weeks. So has he got anything in his tank left in his last few minutes to get himself back up there? And obviously Joseph Greathouse as well, sitting on top in the AMs at the moment. But we'll have a look at all these guys in a little bit more detail in a little minute. But Jimmy, no, this is truly a fantastic track, isn't it? It's a real popular one in motorsport across all variants of racing. I think the one I watched most recently was the F1 round there not too long ago. But it is honestly, it is a great track, isn't it? It's not a very long one though, is it?
No, it's quite short. I mean, it's a deceptively big track. I mean, he's still getting quite like a minute and a half compared to sort of most normal tracks, kind of getting that sort of minute 40 to 2 minute long lap time. So it is a bit shorter. And I think cars like GT3s are generally a bit slower down there because they can't carry as much speed through the corners as sort of Formula cars do. But yeah, it's a nice short track. Lots of laps that we'll see this evening, and yeah, but it's also a nice wide track as well. So short, wide, and
What I'm hearing there, Jim, is it's perfect for racing, really. It's perfect for
yeah.
racing. And like I said, it truly is a great track. And it's one that I absolutely love watching any kind of car, bike even go around. It is truly phenomenal. Like I said, 2.7 miles, it's not the longest, it's only 10 turns, but there is lots and lots of track out there for them to have their little battles, have their little fights, and try and finish up as the leaderboard as high as they can. But no, Jimmy, looking at those times, there's not a lot between these guys out here again tonight, is there?
No, very, very close times. I mean, Adam was with 3/1000ths off of the Michael Gray in front of him. Craig Korish currently leading the way with a 1:29.7. But yeah, if you look at the numbers, they're all within a very, very close distance of each other. Casper Roos, though, still a couple seconds off the pace there. I believe he'll be setting a. I imagine he'll set a much faster lap time in the coming laps here.
Sorry, Jimmy, just something I've noticed here on Harry Hartley Price's car. I don't know if you've spotted it as well. I think it's a little shout out to the England team, the World Cup. We've got
Oh
the
yeah.
England badge on the side. We've got the St. George's Cross on the front. Obviously, had a great result. I would say last night, but it was more this morning, and some of us are suffering a little bit more for it now. And we stayed up till 1 o'clock watching it. But no, go on, England. We want to see you win the World Cup. But we are here for GT3 racing tonight. But I love the little shout out. But no, Jimmy, you're saying it a moment ago, talking about those numbers and how close they were. We are in the second part of the season now. We're getting close to the end of it. And I was having a little look at that league table, and the numbers are tight at the top, especially in those in that elite category. Michael Gray and Craig Korish, Adam Wilson, we're all within very close touching distance of each other in the points. Same in the pros as well. There's really not a lot in it. And do you know what? AMS as well. It's fairly close. So we're at that point of the season now where I think they're going to want to, obviously, they're going to want to maximize points for throughout the season. But they're at that point now where they really need to maximize those points if they're going to climb up any more paces in those standings.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, second half of the season, this is where the points are going to matter most. You haven't got many races to make up for any potential losses or anything like that. So, yeah, it's going to put the pressure on with these drivers just that little bit because we do have a prize pool.
Ah, yes, Jimmy. Yes, indeed that we do. Would you like to tell everybody, or would you like me to let everybody know who's helping us out this year with a nice little prize pool?
I'm more than happy to take it away. So the prize pool has been sponsored by Murby Goes and Clark St James Motorsport and Spectra Racing. We have a total of £150 prize money up for grabs this season, with £50 going to the leader in each category. So £50 goes to whoever gets the win in the elite category, then another 50 for the winner in the pros, and then the final 50 will go to the winner in the AMs.
There you go. A nice little added incentive to that championship crown at the end of the season. And no, we want to thank all those guys there, Murby Goes, Clark St James Motorsport, and Spectra Racing for putting up the prize pool of this season for us. So thank you very much to those guys. Go check them out on all of their socials. But Jimmy, we are a couple of minutes away from qualifying coming to an end. Craig Korish now sitting at the top of the leaderboard, setting a very fast lap there, 1:29.6, fastest lap of the day so far. But there is not a lot in it. Adam Wilson Weird just behind him. Michael Gray dropping down to third now. Something we're not used to seeing with Michael Gray there, is it?
No, and I mean Tim Reed as well. He's another very quick one. And Harry Hartley Price as well, also very, very quick. And both of them were basically fighting for the podiums all of last season. So yeah, I expect them to be as the race goes on underway. I imagine they'll be all up fighting together very, very quickly. Because I mean, there's a lot of straights around here. There's a lot of draft to be had, and it kind of keeps everyone in a bit of a tighter pack when they get racing. Just shout out in the YouTube channel as well. Good evening to you too, Marshmallow. And
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
making fun of the way I think I said a prize pool. in
Right.
the,
Good evening, Marshmallow. Good to have you here with us again, as always. And yeah, Jimmy, I do think he's taking a little bit of mick out of the way you said that. So good spot there, Marshmallow. But no, thank you for joining us, and good evening to anybody else who has joined us this evening, and anybody new that's with us. Thank you for being with us here at Trackside broadcasting as we bring you more Grace Racing GT3 action here in the Tanzo Racing Group. Jimmy, we're into that last minute of qualifying though. Couple of cars still out. Do you think anything's going to change?
Well, one person who I mentioned, Casper Roost, he was originally 2.7 seconds off of James Moore, is now within a 4/10 of him. So he's getting faster and faster as the time goes on. So hopefully he'll be up there racing with the rest of them when the race goes underway. So it's nice to see him sort of improving his lap times. And I think at this
Yeah,
point now, everyone's kind of set the times that they are going to set out there. And before we start as well, anyone in the YouTube channel, if you want us to give a shout out to anyone, feel free to put it in the YouTube chat, and we'll give them the shout out during the race.
no, absolutely, absolutely. No, Jimmy, you say it's good to see the progression of the Casper routes, but that does lead me on to my next question though, because obviously we do know that in a minute we are going to have, well, pretty much now we're going to have a quick 5 minute warm up, and we will be getting underway with that now. But would you be going back out if you were Casper routes now that you're finding your pace, real quick before we get to the qualifying results?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to kind of, I don't know. I feel like if you're in last place, getting any extra practice will help. But like you said, there's a lot of draft around here, and he's a decent driver, so he'd probably just stuffed his qualifying a little bit because they only get a certain amount of laps to put in, don't they? And then
There you
some
go.
people are better race or better driving during the race than they are at qualifying anyway. So I imagine he'll be up there with the rest of them in no
Well,
problem.
no, completely agree with you, Jimmy. But there you go. That is qualifying over. It is round 5. We are at the Red Bull Racing track today. Phenomenal weather for it. Jimmy, let everybody know how we are going to start this race off.
Yep, so leading the way in P1 in the elites and P1 overall, we have Craig Corish, followed by Adam Wilson-Weir and Michael Gray are your top three. Then we have leading the way in the pros, but fourth place overall, we have John Harley, followed by Harry Hartley-Price, Tim Reed, Curtis MacArthur, Otto Karras, Rob Smith, Matthew Massey, Quinton Clumpert. Then leading the way in the AMS, but 12th overall, we have Raymond van Zutphen, followed by Jordan Butler, Joseph Greathouse, James Vardigans, Christopher Haynes, Phil Giles, James Moore, and Casper Rooster rounds out your 19 drivers on track this evening.
There you go. So that 5 minute warm up is underway, and that is your starting grid order there. And of course, it will be that rolling start that we are used to here in the GT3 in the Tanzo Racing Group. I do like a rolling start, Jimmy, but sometimes I do miss the thrill of that lights out and away you go. But you just understand why some cars have the rolling starts, don't you?
Yeah, I mean the GT3s are, yeah, they're not the best on the cold tires. They don't have a lot of grip. Getting off the line is a bit chaotic. You need any warmth in the tires that you can possibly get. So, no, I think the rolling start is best for this kind of car.
Sorry, Jimmy, just a quick one in the YouTube comments. Sim Racer 57. P3 with this thing at hangover is a lot better than I was expecting. Now, I'm thinking, is that a Mr. Michael Gray? And I'm thinking he might have gone out for the England game last night. Michael, correct me if I'm wrong with that one, but did you have a good night out on the beers?
Yeah, I think if I was a betting man, I'd know where I'd put my money.
No, absolutely. I'm sure he did go out with that one. He's got a stinking hangover, and there is really no excuse for that one on a Monday, Michael. Come on, but the perfect excuse was last night. So, no, I hope you did enjoy it. And let's see how you get on out there today, mate. But no, P3, bit low for you, if I'm completely honest. We're used to seeing you up there in P1, but we'll see what you can do out there, mate. Good luck this evening. Couple of minutes left to go, though, Jim.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be racing with a with a hangover at all. But yeah, a couple minutes to go. There's quite a few drivers out there just getting some extra warm-up laps in, and yeah, it should be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to lap one. I think it's especially going to be very telling of how the race goes. I think around here, how if they're going to sort of fall into a bit of a train or whether they're going to be all bunched up and fighting together. I think yeah, keep an eye on what happens on lap one, I'd say.
And that one's always a very, very interesting one. But I've got a feeling it's going to probably be the latter in what you said there, Jim. I reckon we're going to see a lot of people bunched up. Well, that's what I'm hoping to see anyway, because there's a lot more action to be seen then.
And oh, there you go. Sim Racer 57 got back off a stag do at 11:30 this morning.
A stag do at half 11. You absolute animal. I'm assuming you did not go to work today, Michael. Come on.
I mean, that
That
would
is
be
awesome.
pretty nuts to be able to go to work and then do sim racing after.
Well, I'll tell you
After.
what, if he went out on a stag do, watched the England game, continued the stag do, went to work, and he's now racing. That is Superman right there. And now I know why he's so good.
Oh, blimey. All right, so we've got a minute left of the warm up, and yeah, we'll have to see how they get on, and then we'll. So the starting procedure will be all the drivers will line up on the grid, and they'll line up behind the safety car. As the safety car starts moving, the drivers will follow it, and then eventually it will dip into the pit lane. Then it is down to the driver in P1. As soon as they cross the start finish line, that is when the race is underway.
There we go. And then following from that, Jimmy, 60 minutes of GT3 racing action. Exactly what I need on a Monday night.
There you go. Already getting a bit of side by side here from Joseph Greathouse and the Lamborghini to the left of it.
They're going at it real early. Come on, lads, the race hasn't even started yet.
I mean, to be fair, practicing overtakes and going side by side is just as important. Always practicing a bit of a pit lane entry as well. I wonder how many people
Well,
out there have practiced that pit lane entry.
we've seen it quite a bit in the last few weeks, haven't we, Jim? A few people getting caught out of that one with their pit entry speeds and pit exit speeds. So I'm sure it's something these guys have actually practiced, because that is so silly to be caught on something like that one.
Yeah, it's such an important thing to practice because the time lost from getting it wrong is monumental. So
No, it really is. And sorry, there's Michael Gray just confirming to us that maybe 20 years ago he would have done all that, but in his mid 40s, absolutely no chance. So he definitely curled up on the sofa or in bed all day before he's come online gaming. What I love to hear. But no, there you go. That is the 5 minute warm up over. We will now wait for all of these cars to line up. And as Jimmy said, away they'll go behind the safety car until that peels in down to the line, and it is away they go. 60 minutes of GT3 racing action here in the Tanzo Racing Group. Just what the doctor ordered on a Monday night.
yeah, and there's already quite a lot of gravel on track, as you can see there from drivers that went off during practice and whatnot. So that's going to make the first lap a bit sketchy because I mean, yeah, it's going to give you a little bit less grip as well. So cold tires going side by side potentially, less
Well,
grip because of the gravel while you're turning. Or I think,
Well, it doesn't look like it's quite creeped over too much over that white line yet, Jimmy. So let's hope these guys keep it on track and don't bring too much of it over with them, because that will cause chaos out there. We know how much gravel can affect these cars.
yeah, it's surprising because you think like, oh, a little bit of gravel's not going to be doing anything, and it's like, imagine just suddenly driving in the wet and then you kind of go over sort of a big puddle and then you kind of just
Like an
sort of slip out
aquaplane,
of it.
isn't it? Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an aquaplane. You don't really know what you're doing. You've got no control of the car. I'm quite sure that's probably how it does feel to go over something like that at these kind of speeds.
Yeah, I mean it's you still get a decent amount of grip, but it can catch you off guard very easily, especially on a corner as well. It's less grip than you think. But yep, as Fendi Racing says in the YouTube chat, good luck guys. Good luck to everyone out there on track. Some very aggressive wiggling from some of those drivers there,
Trying
and
to get all that speed, all that heat in. I'm sure they can as early as they can, Jimmy.
yeah, I mean you really need to. Okay, and final corner, the safety car is in the pit lane, and as soon as those lights go at the top of your screen, that is when they will be going. So everyone following behind Craig Corish here and waiting for him to cross that line, and they are off. Great start from Adam Wilson-Weir in the Lamborghini there, getting already kind of side by side next to Craig Corish. Great reaction times from him there as we go three wide a bit further back in the grid, but how do they handle this tricky first corner here? Keep
But it
it
seems like
very
everybody's getting themselves around quite cleanly there, Jimmy. I don't see too much coming together at all there in the first couple of corners. It seems like a very clean start from everybody there. The Craig Corish has got himself up now above Adam Wilson Weir, who had that great start off the line there. Craig Corish leading the way, with Adam Wilson Weir just behind him, and Michael Gray still in third, just behind him. A couple of changes not far behind them too, Jimmy. Oh, as we see someone going really wide off there. I think that was John Harley coming across the track in the was that the blue Ford there, Jimmy? Was that the Mustang?
well, we had the Ferrari coming across there. What the
Oh, so who's
I
that?
don't know
Who's
what
come
happened there.
across?
Oh
Who's
yeah,
that again?
the Mustang goes right across the track, luckily to avoid everyone. So what happens here then? So the side by side. He knows he's side by side here, and then
Oh, is he just?
I think you could see there was a little bit of a gap between the two cars. I think a bit of latency between the two drivers, also known as a netcode there. made them think the cars were kind of closer than they were, and they kind of just through the
Okay,
net code
okay.
hooked the back tire of it. It wasn't. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate one. That one, I wouldn't say anyone was at fault for that one. Just
Well, it was Harry Hartley Price. It looks like who's dropped down into P19 out on track now, Jimmy. Who was involved in that one. Of course, it is. He has the England badges on the side. I do remember that actually from the warm up there, from qualifying. Do apologise, but no, netcode can be a bit of a bugger, can't it, Jimmy? Out there for you if it's going to catch you like that one. Will the marshals be having a look though, just still?
I mean, it's always worth having a look. I mean, but I would put money on very little happening between the drivers. There we go. It's just been confirmed. Netcode contact between 98 and 39.
There
So
you
that's
go.
John
So that is
Harley and Harry
yeah.
Hartley Price. So yeah, it's no incident from that one. It's just
No
sadly
further
a
action.
yeah.
One of them. It's one of them, isn't it, Jimmy? It's one of them. But no, Jimmy, we are in lap 2 at the moment. Craig Core is still leading the way up at the top of the leaderboard. P1 out on track and P1 for the elites, followed by Adam Wilson Weir in P2, Michael Gray in P3. Tim Reed follows behind them in P4 with Curtis MacArthur jumping up from P3 to P1 in the pros. P5 out on track at the moment, leading the way for the pros, followed by Otto Karras and Jordan Butler with Matt Massey just behind them and Rob Smith following just behind too with Quinton Clumpert. Joseph Greathouse leading the way for the AMs at the moment, P11 out on track, but P1, followed by John Harley and then Raymond Van Zutphen, who's P2 in the AMs. So nice little gap there for Joseph. Something he's very, very used to at this moment. He does very well, doesn't he, Jimmy, of putting cars between him and P2. We've seen it week after week. No, Raymond then P2, like I said, P13 out on track, followed by Christopher Haynes, Casper, who's just behind them, followed by Phil Giles, James Vardigans, and James Moore, with Harry Hartley Price at the back of the pack for now in P19. Obviously involved in that incident a moment ago with John Harley.
Yeah, I wonder how much damage he's got because he dropped quite far off the back. I don't think he pitted, did he? He might have pitted because
I
I mean
think he
that's
might have
25
pitted.
seconds is a long time. Probably getting that fast repair that the guys have got, and just so he could get back out there and not waste any time with a. He did pit. We got confirmation that he did pit. So yeah, he used his fast repair, got the car fixed up, and away he goes. Gaz, would you like to explain to everyone what the fast repair is?
Yeah, the fast repair basically lets you jump in straight into the pits. It doesn't affect your tires. It doesn't affect your fuel. It basically lets you repair any damage that you've got to the car to enable you to get back out there as quickly as you can to enjoy your racing for the rest of the evening. So no, that is your fast repair. And like I said, it does not affect your tires and it does not affect your fuel either.
So who's that pulling over then? So the Mustang of is that Tim Reed there, just sort of letting people by? I wonder if he maybe got a slow down penalty or something because the Porsche of Curtis MacArthur sort of flashed him and then he pulled over to the side to let him by. That was a bit of an odd interaction there.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect to see that from Tim Reed. Obviously, Tim's quite quick out there on track. Maybe he's having a technical issue that we don't know about, or could it be a car problem this quickly that we haven't seen yet, Jim, or something like that? Could he have been caught up in something a little bit earlier? I don't think he's been involved in anything. So, but he doesn't seem to be very quick out there, does he?
No, I didn't see anything in terms of a slow down penalty or anything like that. But yeah, we'll keep an eye and see what happens with Tim Reed. He's a quick driver. I imagine he'll get past these guys if everything is going well with him.
Well, he'll definitely be looking to improve on last week. He did finish bottom of the elites, P5 out of all of them, Jim, and he didn't actually finish the race. So let's hope that there is nothing to cause him not to finish this week's race either.
Oh, that was a big send on the inside from John Harley there. I think he's I think he's a little frustrated from the loss of time at the start, and he's trying to work his way up through the field. I
Sorry,
say you've
Jimmy.
got to
Look at
be
that,
careful about
three
that.
wide there, right, right ahead him, right ahead there. Sorry, John Harley, Matt Massey, and was that Quinton Clumpert or was that Rob Smith? Sorry, just involved. I think that was Quinton Clumpert. Sorry, just ahead of them, just involved in that one. Three wide though, keeping it round there for a couple of corners. That is brave. We said there's a lot of space, but that much space.
Yeah, it was a closing gap that he went three wide into. So there is space, but when the space is going, it is going. So
Yeah, and it goes pretty quickly, doesn't it? As you zip round this very very short track.
yeah, I mean they're doing well to keep it three wide this entire time because that inside line being that close to the inside is difficult to carry that much speed through, and he's doing a good job of keeping the pace there.
Well, John Harley definitely seems to have kept his pace from that earlier incident. He's chasing down Matt Massey and Quinton Clumpert just ahead of him. He has got Rob Smith behind him, and obviously Joseph Greathouse there, right at the back of that train of five that you can see in that red and white Corvette there. I think that is. Is that the Corvette? Yes, it is. What's gone on here then, Jim, real quick? So this is Phil Giles and it's that Casper Roos as well in the red and white, I believe.
Phil. Ca- uh, can
What?
we just
Can
message the
we,
drivers, just say, can we give Phil just a night off? Come on, he's had a rough season so far. I don't think he's
what?
actually got through a race
We're,
yet.
we're five races in, and I think Phil Giles has been involved in something in each race. Come on, guys, leave Phil alone. Let him enjoy his 60 minutes of racing out there. But no, Jimmy, look at this lovely. I'm going to use one of your words here. This lovely little gaggle of cars that we've got. This little train of five with Raymond just poking his nose in just at the back of the screen there, trying to get involved with it as well, and Christopher Haynes there as well. But not a lot of changes so far. They're right behind each other. They're in those draft spots. But this for me is one of those tracks. It's quite brake. A lot of braking spots in this one. Using your brakes quite a lot to rotate that car around as well. You're just not getting so much speed around those corners. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, and getting that speed out the corners is crucial here because you can see these really long straights. It's corner, straight, corner, straight, corner, straight. So it's, yeah, you got to be absolutely on it with getting that car rotated, and you can see this group here helping each other along with the draft there. But from all the battling of that group of five behind them, they've ended up losing 6 seconds to the lead pack, and you can see some cars going very wide on the track limits there, just trying to carry as much of that speed through as they can. But
Talking of speed, Jimmy just set the fastest lap out there, a 1 minute 30.1. Michael Gray, who's currently in P3 at the moment for the elites and out on track. He's within half a second of Adam, just ahead of him, who's within a few tenths of Craig up there as well. It's going to be a really interesting race at the top. But what has happened here? So we're going to look at Raymond Van Sutphen here in the orange and black at the bottom of your screen.
so he's quite far back from the car in front. I hope he doesn't try and send it from here, otherwise that would be very, very ambitious.
Oh, he's
So
going. Is he? No, he's
kind of speed through. Oh, that looks like yeah, it's just that
has there been a tap?
concertina effect. It's just
So
that
it looks,
constant.
yeah. So it looks like John Harley's taps the car in front. It has caused Joseph to tap into him, which has then caused the knock-on effects there for everybody and caused Raymond to catch it right at the back of the pack there.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can really do to avoid that one because you don't expect people to be kind of slamming on the brakes mid-corner. It does tend to catch you out a bit. But
No, there
yeah,
you
Otto
go.
Karas there and Tim
So
Reed
say,
battling for position on track.
yeah, a
And
couple of little swap arounds there. I just saw in the timings board there a moment ago, Jimmy. Like we said, like minutes ago, Tim Reed will be looking to join those elites at the top of the board. So we've still got a couple of cars to get past.
yeah, and in the YouTube chat as well, Marshmallow, question is, at what point does it stop being a group and start being a gaggle? Uh,
Well, I think that's a gaggle at the moment, Jimmy. Would we class them as a gaggle, or is it not quite there just yet? I said it a moment ago when there was five, six of them there, but sorry, John Harley just coming up on the outside of Rob Smith there. Can he get the move done on the inside? Tucks himself still side by side there, but Rob should have it as he comes out that corner. Still side by side at the moment. I think Rob's got the slightly better exit though on John. Should keep it going into the next set of corners though.
just quickly, no further action between Joseph Greathouse and Raymond Van Zutphen there, and yeah, I don't think we expected anything
Sorry,
from
Jimmy,
that.
just to cut you off. John Harley there, just making a move on the inside and getting himself ahead of Rob Smith at the moment. Is he going to be able to keep it, though, as Rob Smith gets the inside into the next corner? But John Harley is very fast round the outside there. Is he going to keep it, Rob Smith? Well, was there a little bit of contact, or did he dip onto the curb there, Jim? Because Rob Smith has just sent it onto the grass.
Yeah, I think he
There's a
lost.
little
Oh,
bit of
there is
contact.
contact. There
I
is
think there's
contact.
a little bit of contact there.
So he
Oh,
does well to kind
can
of
we get
hold it and
another
keep
angle on
it.
that? Sorry, can we just see? Is there? Can we see that again, or can we see that from the car behind? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's have a look what happens here. So John Harley, the car just in front of the Mustang, with Rob Smith, the car that we're with.
Well, it's a tough one because I don't think he was left
Oh, no,
quite enough space, but he did have space, so I
there
think it's
was
just.
space, but was there just enough, Jimmy? I say it each and every week. I'm glad we're not the marshals making these decisions.
I think for that one there was enough, but it was just unfortunate. I think uh, he had I think to the millimeter he had he had space, and then
No, he really
absolutely
did.
nothing more. Which in a race, I mean, why would you give your opponents any more than they need to?
Right, sorry,
And
Jimmy, just to cut you off. We saw Tim Reed just coming onto screen a moment ago. He looked like he tracked out wide, but there's a race just in front of him. Otto Karras and Jordan Butler. We just cut away from that one for now as we join the front three. No, we're going to go back to Otto and Curtis at the moment. Now, Curtis has made the move on Otto. No, Jordan's in there as well. Sorry. They are side by side at the moment. That is a beautiful Spectra livery again. I am going to say it on that Mercedes. I do absolutely love it. But Jordan Butler is looking for that move. He's not quite going to get it done at the moment on Otto, though, as he tucks back ahead for now.
yeah, oh,
Oh,
another bit of contact. Same corner as well as you saw it previously. I think the
there you go. So did Otto slightly lose that coming round into that corner there?
oh
Because
yeah,
look
front
at the
bumper is
damage there
gone.
for Jordan Butler as well. Yeah, sorry, Jim, to cut you there, but that front bumper flicking right off. Now, has Otto lost that coming round? Because it looked like he did for a moment. He has.
Yeah,
He's lost that. It's
the
slid
rear end just
into
goes and then pulls the front end
nothing.
in front of the.
Oh, that is unfortunate. There's nothing he can do there as well. Jordan Butler going into that either. He just takes that gap away from him as soon as his back end comes around. That is it for Jordan. That space is gone, and that's a lost bumper.
Yeah, I don't know what you do at this point in the race because pitting now, he's going to have to pit again. But if he's able to kind of keep going and he's got the pace to kind of keep in that gaggle of cars, he might do well to try and pit. As he's going for the overtake and he's missing the face of his car. I mean, fair play to the
Jo-
man. I mean,
Jordan Butler on Tim Reed here, attempting it with no face on his car, like you says there, Jimmy. Is Tim Reed just going to stay ahead, or does Jordan get it going into that corner? And he does, tucks on the inside, but that's a quick exit. Is it from Tim? No, is Jordan going to keep it? They are side by side at the
I think
moment.
Jordan's kept it. I think Jordan's kept it. He's
Has he
definitely
got
ahead,
it?
isn't he?
He's.
Yeah,
It looks like he is ahead.
but he's got the inside line here, but he's not going to have as much rotation because of that lack of downforce on the front of the car. So
Now
let's see
Tim's
how
gonna
well
have
he
to
does
watch
over
for
this next.
Quentin. Sorry, Tim's gonna have to watch for Quentin as well. As Quentin comes round on the inside, is he gonna take the pair of them as they go three wide out of this corner here, Jim?
Looks like it. I mean, Jordan Butler doing very well to keep it. Tim Reed carrying a lot of speed around that outside. I think Jordan had to compromise a little bit there on entry, and if he still maintains being ahead, so I mean that is some good driving from Jordan there. Clearly, he's
Oh,
able to keep pace without the front of his car there.
there
So
you go.
no
Tim
need for
Reed,
that
sorry,
early
just
pit.
Tim. Tim Reed, sorry, just dipped to the opposite side of the track though and got round him quite comfortably there though, Jim. Is that going to be the damage, possibly causing a little bit of a slowdown on his car there?
I don't, it's hard to say at the moment. He did well through the tricky section to keep pace and yeah, if he
Well,
can get maybe a little bit of bump drafting going on, maybe keep it in the draft of the car in front as well, it'll
well, it
keep them
just
all
looked like
together.
Sorry, it just looked like he eased off slightly, is all I'm thinking there, because Tim Reed just literally dipped to the right hand side and pulled straight around him like he wasn't even there and causing him a problem a couple of corners before that one.
Um, I mean, Tim Reed is an elite, so I think his ability with the wheel. Or John Harley going for a very late lunge there. That was not on.
That was very
Uh,
audacious there from John Harley.
yeah,
It's cost him a few tenths there on Otto Karras, the car in front as well. That is
yeah.
a
That
very
move.
audacious move.
Yeah, that move wasn't quite on, and yeah, Otto did very well to avoid any incident there, and yeah, I mean, Otto as well. He losing the his rear end and getting a bit of damage early on. He's doing well to keep in that group as well. So clearly the damage isn't isn't affecting their abilities too much out here on track, and yeah, it's hard to say whether John Harley himself has actually got damage from the incident earlier on, but we'll
Well,
have to.
it doesn't look like it's affecting him out there too much at all. If it is, Jim, I can't see any issues on the car at all. I can't see any issues with his tyres. I can't see any panels missing. Just looks like John Harley's really racing hard right now, keeping up with the rest of these cars after the earlier incident.
Yeah, I do wonder what's going to happen with the tyres though, because a track like this, you are leaning on those tyres quite a lot because it's quite fast flowing corners when there are corners.
Sorry there,
And
Jim. Don't know if you caught it there. Also, Carrick's looking for the move there on Jordan Butler, but Jordan Butler instantly tracked out wide to block that off. So going very defensive as he lets Tim Reed just get a few extra attempts ahead of him there by going defensive on him. That is a very wise move, though, the way I look at it. Look, I'm Jordan Butler. I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars right behind me. If I make a simple mistake there, trying something I shouldn't be, I could drop a lot of spots here.
yeah, I mean that's going to be yeah not
Sorry,
ideal
John
for
Harley.
him.
Sorry again, John Harley going for that exact same move again there on Otto Karras in front of him, and it doesn't pay off again for him. He's really trying that one move on that corner, isn't he, Jim?
He is indeed. I mean, he's very ambitious, making the lunges going on in there. He's definitely frustrated and wants to get some positions back after that earlier incident.
But look at this. So, I absolutely love to see, Jimmy. We've got elites, we got pros, and we got AMs all involved in this gaggle of cars. I'm going to say, even if you won't, this is an absolute proper gaggle of cars with all the classes involved. This is what I love about this session with these guys out here. We've got the elites, we got the classes. So we've got the elites, we got the pros, we got the AMs. But when they're out on track, you cannot tell the difference between some of these guys. Look how hard they're racing, and some of them aren't even racing with people in their own class at the moment.
No, I mean, Otto Karas is no stranger to fighting with people of a higher class. Jordan Butler as well, very quick driver, as we saw from previous seasons. But all they're fighting and battling is doing is allowing Tim Reed to run off in the distance. So, yeah, whether they want to
Sorry,
play it smart and battle a little bit less so they can catch up to him.
there you go. Otto Karras tracking out wide again. Jordan Butler doesn't go with him this time, but that allows John Harley to get up next to Otto Karras there as they go side by side coming into this next corner. Jim, is John Harley going to make anything go down on Otto Karras now?
Take a look. John Harley's definitely got the pace going down here, so I don't
Looks
think
like
he's
he's
going
got
to.
ahead of him. Yep, he's got ahead of him. Sorry, Jim. Just saw Otto Karras just trot behind him there, where John's been trying to make that move the last couple of corners. He's got it done just before then on Otto and slips his way self up into another position there. Gets himself onto P4 now in the pros. Some great driving there from these guys and real clean racing out there, isn't it?
For the most part, so yeah, definitely a few.
But no, we like to see it. We like to see clean racing. I say each and every week, Jim. I love to see the same amount of cars finish this race as start in this race. But we are 18 minutes into it now, and normally I'd call the positions at the moment, Jim. But there's lots of changes at the moment in the middle of the track, in the middle of the field at the moment. So I'm not going to call it right now. I'm going to see how this all pans out.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look and see where they get on. I mean, John Harley's still battling side by side with Jordan Butler now as Otto Karas is getting ahead. Is them battling going to potentially slow them down to allow the Otto Karas to lead away? It looks like Jordan Butler, though, is definitely struggling a little bit now. He's starting to fall back on pace. I wonder if he did cook those tyres, trying to overcompensate for the lack of downforce on the front of the car.
There you go, like you said, dropping off a couple of attempts there. John Harley definitely not dropping off. The Otto Carriage just ahead of him. Jordan will want to get as close to the back of him as he can. He's going to hope these guys are going to be fighting just ahead of him. But that, of course, will bring in Matt Massey and Quinton Clumpert and Joseph Greathouse into the mix as well. You can see them all there tracking up behind. And even then, you've got Raymond Van Zuppen and Christopher Haynes. There is not a lot of gap between all of these cars out here, Jim. We've got about 10 cars, all probably in about a couple of seconds of each other right now.
Yeah, they're definitely staying as a group together, and we are just on board with James Moore and Rob Smith here. Let's have a look where they're getting on. Jordan Butler, I thought he was going to look on the inside there, no, but he's keeping it as is. And yes, they're starting to get a bit of a train forming here as people start to spread out a little bit. Rob Smith, after that earlier incident as well, he's got some working his way up the field to do. Same with Phil Giles as well, and Harry Hartley Price. He's catching up after that 25-second gap. Down to he's overtaken Casper Roost and he's down to 4 seconds off of the next car. So
There you go. Very interesting race out there, but it all seems to be going on in the middle of the pack at the minute, Jim. Otto and John slightly pulling away, like you said a minute ago, from Jordan, and the rest of them at the moment. Jordan is just not getting that time back on him though. But no, there we are, 20 minutes into this race. Craig Corrish still leading the way for the elites with Adam Wilson. We're in P2 and Michael Gray's in P3. Michael Gray just setting the fastest lap a moment ago over 129.7. Curtis MacArthur, P4 out on track, but P1 for the pros at the moment with Tim Reed sitting in P5, P4 for the elites. Otto Karras, P6 out on track, P2 with John Harley just behind him, but then obviously Jordan Butler just behind him with Matt Massey, Quinton Clumpert, Joseph Greathouse, Raymond Van Sutphin, Christopher Haynes. They're all there. Christopher Haynes in P13, James Vardigan's just behind in P14. You can see on screen at the moment, followed by Rob Smith in P15 with James Moore, Phil Giles, Harry Hartley with Horace, and Casper Roost at the back of the pack at the moment.
Yeah, Casper Roost is yeah, he was struggling in qualifying, and I'm guessing this isn't a favorite track of his. And we do see that from week to week, don't we? Certain drivers favor certain tracks, certain drivers absolutely hate certain tracks, and yeah, I think if we ask Casper Roost about this one, this will be in the latter there. I think he's gonna, yeah, he's not a fan of this particular one.
No, it's one of them with Casper, like because I've seen Casper in previous seasons as well as this season, and he's a really, really good driver. But it's just some of these ones are proving a real hairy one for him out here this season, and it's quite frustrating when you know how good someone is. So I can only imagine how frustrated he is at the moment with how this season's going, and especially how his race is at the moment, sitting at the back of the pack. But look, he's only a few seconds off Harry Hartley Price there, and little bit more off of Phil Giles, but he's still in this race at the moment. Just keep going till the end, Casper. Keep going to the end, my mate. But no, it's been a great 22 minutes of action so far, especially in the middle of the package, Jim, hasn't it?
Yeah, that group of five just not leaving each other alone has been incredible to watch. But I think one a little group to not forget about as well is Craig, Adam, and Michael, all within half a second of each other, just settling in, getting really fast lap times, and just building that gap to the cars behind. They know that if they start battling and fighting too much, that the others will catch up, and then they're all stuck in that same group. So they want to break away. They want to get some clean air. So they're just settling in, and yeah, their fighting is going to come later on in the race. Whereas these guys here, they are they're making it entertaining for us as we see the Porsche there of Quinton Klumper like going off into the gravel, trying to carry way too much speed around that corner there.
No, just going back to what you said a moment ago about the top of the pack, Jimmy. I have to completely agree with you. Look, they're just over 30 and a half seconds to the next car out on track. That would be the P1 Pro Curtis MacArthur at the moment. But look, these guys, they're just keeping it so clean up there that it hasn't changed since the start. Like I said, though, last couple of laps, Michael Gray has been setting the fastest laps out there. He's getting quicker and quicker. Still sitting in P3 though, and we've got to be honest, Jim. It's not something we're used to seeing with Michael Gray out there, are we? We know what he said his excuse is, but come on, I'm not buying it. These guys are all fantastic, though. We see great race each and every week from all of these guys out here. But it's Craig, Adam, and Michael always top of the pack at the moment, top three, and they always give us something to watch on to, especially towards the end of the race. So no, I do have to agree with you, Jim. I think once we get past the pits and we get into the last probably 20 minutes, 15 minutes of this race, I think we'll definitely see some action at the top of the field. But no, at the minute, all of it is in the middle where we are right now. We can see Tim Reed just at the front with Otto Karras just behind him. John Harley not far behind him either. Little bit of a gap now to the next couple of cars. So we've lost that gaggle of five. We're now just down to a little trio of three. And we'll have to see what happens between these three, Jim.
Yeah, because we know from previous races that Otto likes to keep it sensible. He likes to follow the leader, as we say, and keep pace in that slipstream of the elites of race past. And he's doing the same here to Tim Reed now. Just gets almost dragged along in their slipstream and just increases pace a little bit. But John Harley definitely wants a good old scrap, so I imagine they'll be fighting once again in the coming laps. You can see Otto Karras taking a defensive line going on the inside there to hold off Otto Karras behind him, John Harley behind him. As Otto Karras there loses a bit of time to Tim Reed, but using that slipstream, it catches him right back up into towards the braking zone. But he goes defensive again as John Harley sends it down the inside. John Harley really wants every position that he can possibly get. Otto Karras dragging out a little bit onto the curbing, using as much of the track to carry that minimum speed around the corner, get that higher minimum speed, get a better exit out of these corners, and be able to defend your position a lot better.
There you go. We'll have to see if he can keep that up over the next 35 minutes of this race, Jimmy. We're still not at that halfway point yet, so there's a lot of driving left to do, Jimmy. But I tell you one thing, I am really, really, really interested in because this is a really we've said it so many times. We love this track. What are you thinking about an onboard around about in a moment's time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a short little lap, so it'll be a short little onboard section. But yeah, one thing that'll be, I think it'll help demonstrate the areas where these drivers are going for like overtakes and battling, and another one as well is the elevation in this track as well. It really changes how you brake and carry speed through. So I think having an onboard just so you can see where you're going uphill, downhill, weaving all about, using all the track. I think it'll be very exciting for the people at
Sorry,
home to see
Jimmy.
what the guys are going through.
Sorry, Jim, just to cut you off there. John Harley making the move on Otto Carris and getting himself up another position out on track, taking himself up to P2 in the pros now. Just leaving Otto a few tenths behind there. So, real good move from John Harley. He's been looking for it for the last few laps now, and he finally gets it done. I tell you what, shall we jump on board with our race leader? Shall we jump on board with Craig Corrish for our onboard lap, Jimmy, in a moment?
Absolutely, and yeah, John Harley though he's still roughly about 25 to 27 seconds off of Curtis MacArthur leading the way in the pros at the moment. So they've got some work to do to catch back up before the end of the race if they want to be fighting for that pole position.
No, and it'll be real interesting to see what does happen with the pits, the strategies that goes on there, and how hard they go racing after that as well in the second half of this race. It'll be something really interesting. But Jimmy, it's time for that on board. Please take us away.
Yep, so we're going down the start finish straight here. You can see there's elevation coming as we go uphill using all that curb to extend the corner as well. And yeah, drag out wide, getting in that little dip there, get the grip in the green strip and get back on the throttle. Huge straight down here. I say straight, it is a little bit windy, but it is kind of a straight. And then we go massive uphill braking zone, massive right-hander here. Again, using all the curb to maximize your corner angle, I would say, and then yeah, dragging out wide onto that curb. Again, a little straight here, very up and down with the elevation, but we have a really cool sort of hairpin right-hander here, where it's all downhill, cutting across the curb, and again, sort of carrying that minimum speed through here. Very, very wide corners here, dragging out all the way towards that gravel. And then we have a nice left-hander here. This is where the we saw those incidents prior, as you can see. It's a rough section to try and carry that speed through and go too wide. And as we drag out onto that curb on the left-hand side again, down the brakes, get the car rotated, back on the throttle, using all the curb on exit that you can, and then back on the throttle once again. So lots of elevation we've seen so far, but then we've got this really fun bit here. Again, just down on the brakes here, get the car rotated, drag out as wide as you dare, then you cut across this curb on the right hand side to carry as much speed through as you can, using again all the curbing, careful not to lose it on exit, and then we're back through the start finish straight. And just quickly, we have a black flag for Jordan Butler there for speeding in pit entry. We are seeing those pits coming up. He did have that damage to the front of his car, which clearly he wants to get repaired as soon as possible. Sadly, he sped in the pit lane.
Jimmy, we said it, didn't we, in the warm up when I think we was on board with Joseph Greathouse when he sped into that pit lane and was like, we started speaking about them practicing the pit entries and the pit exits, and there's the reason why Jordan Butler suffers with a black flag penalty going in there, speeding into the pit lane, and that is, in my opinion, that is a rookie mistake. You should not be speeding in the pit lane.
No, and it's yeah. I mean, like yeah, we do say it very often. It's one of the most important parts of practicing for a race is getting that pit entry just perfected because even if you overslow and just make sure you get in there safely, it's better than losing that drive-through penalty that you get for speeding in the pit lane.
No, absolutely. I've got to agree with you, Jimmy. And like I said, the speed in the pit lane, there's no excuse for it. That should be your bread and butter. Going in and out of pit lanes, you're doing it all your life, aren't you, at this point? And you should be used to it when you're doing this week in, week out. So no, there you go. He has served it though. As you can see, the black flag has disappeared. So no, he'll be looking to get his race back underway. But Jimmy, we're at that halfway point of the race. It's something I'm going to put to you. I do it each and every single week, but I want your driver of the day when we get about 10 minutes towards the end of this race, if that's all right with you. And this week, I am going to give you the pro driver of the day, if that is okay.
Absolutely, and yeah, I've got a few names in mind already. And speaking of pro drivers, we've got Daniel Paul in the YouTube chat. Sorry, missed your comment earlier. Evening all. John Harley aiming to use all incident points this race. I mean, if you got them,
Well,
might as well use them.
hey, well, he's doing all right out there at the minute, isn't he? So I think since Daniel made that comment, Daniel, any update to that comment, mate? Please do drop it in and let us know your thoughts as we just crossed that 31-minute mark point of this race. Now, Jimmy, back to driver of the day. Obviously, our man behind the cameras, he will be taking our elite driver of the day as usual. You'll be taking our pros. I'll be taking our AMs, and of course, I want to hear what our viewers have to stay at home. So let us know in the comments who your driver of the day is. And you've got about 20 minutes to think about that one before we start looking at that. All right, guys. But no, there you go, Jimmy. We are at that halfway point. Like I said, pit stops are they're starting to happen now. We've seen a few cars dip in and out, and it does change the race up sometimes. Do you think it's going to have a massive impact now with how close these cars are still out here? Look at the front three, prime example.
Yeah, I mean these three, they are elites. They are very fast drivers. They've definitely practiced their pit stops, and I think it's not going to affect them too much. I think the only difference is whether any of them take tires in the pits or potentially add a bit of extra fuel in, because being in the slipstream this entire race for Michael Gray and Adam Wilson-Weir, it will allow them to do a bit of fuel saving. They can lift and coast into those corners using the slipstream to carry them along, and they can underfuel their car a little bit because they've been using less fuel as the race has gone on. As a little bump there from Adam Wilson-Weir onto Craig Corrish, are they bump drafting, or did he just carry a little bit more speed through than he wanted to? And
Maybe a little bit more speed because at the moment we haven't seen any bump drafting from him so far. But then again, he is showing his nose to him a couple of times there, Jim. Is he looking to make a move before they dip into the pits, do you think?
I think he might be. I think maybe he thinks that like he might get held up on pit entry from Craig there, and he's wanting to get ahead. But yeah, I think I think he's panicking maybe a little bit. But yeah, Michael Gray though seems very calm and collected, just chilling at the back, chilling in third place, and then he'll let the race happen as it goes on.
Well, it's like you said, Jimmy, a moment ago. Look how close the three of them are. Michael Gray and Adam Wilson Weir are currently sitting dragging off of the front of Craig Corrish. They're fuel saving a little bit. Michael Gray's in a very comfortable position. I wouldn't be doing too much at this point either. I'd wait and see what's happening because it does look like Adam is starting to show his nose a little bit more than he has been previously in this race. So for now, if I was Michael Gray, I'd definitely be sat back where I am. I wouldn't want to fall back any, but no, I'd be quite comfortable where I am at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he's thinking that Craig Corsh has overdone his tyres a little bit. Maybe he hasn't quite got the pace, although he's still setting roughly the same lap times as he has been this entire race, give or take a few tenths of a second. So it's not like he's being slow, but I think maybe Adam thinks he's got uh, bit more in his car than Craig does, and is maybe able to set slightly faster lap times. So we'll have to see if he goes for the move later on, as we see a couple of the cars now dipping into pit lane, getting that fuel on board, and then getting back out to racing.
Do you think many of them will be changing their tyres today, Jim? Like, look how locked up it's been in the middle when we've seen those gaggle of cars, when we've had the 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, all in very close proximity, all swapping and swapping change spots with each other. Do you think tyres are going to be changed today? Because sometimes the drivers don't do it.
It's hard to say, because I mean, if you're Craig, Adam, or Michael here, it's you might be thinking, well, if I go for tires, I'm going to lose that time in the pits while taking the tires, and then you got that kind of couple out laps, so you're going to be slower. But then later on in the race, you're going to be quicker. But if you don't take tires and everyone else does, you then get that jump on everyone with getting a much quicker pit stop. So it's hard to tell. I think without knowing how the cars feel themselves. I
Yeah.
mean, only the drivers know what their tires really feel like and what the grip is like. And I don't know. I think I can't imagine too many people will be wanting to take tires. I think maybe those that had a spin earlier on are probably going to have a bit more tire wear than normal, and they might think about it. But yeah,
Well,
it's hard to tell.
it's definitely to be expected. Obviously, if you've been involved in it, so you span round, you've caused quite a bit more wear on your tyres, and the guy in front of you has just been doing what probably these guys up ahead, perfect example to use, have been doing, and just getting on with it basically. So no, I do agree with you, but it's one of them. I think it's real difficult to tell unless you're behind the wheel of that car and you can feel how it's feeling.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, there'll be, as you see, there's a lot of people pitting right now. So these lead three will be pitting in the next lap or two. I would uh, I would say I imagine they're probably going to dip into the pit lane this lap.
Well, they've got nearly
So
30 seconds at the moment on Tim Reed, who's got himself up to P4 now. So he's got past all of the pros, got himself into P4, but he's got nearly a 30-second lead, just over 29.1 at the moment, Jimmy. So he's got a lot of catching up to do. These guys who probably get in and out, but there you go. First one diving into the pit, Craig Corish as Adam Wilson Weir and Michael Gray stay out. Now, I
Yeah,
thought
like
they'd possibly look to pit together here.
well, it's said, isn't it? If they've been fuel saving Michael Gray and Craig Corish by being behind uh, Adam Wilson Weir and Michael Gray by being behind Craig Corish that entire time, then yeah, they can go that extra lap. They can get that lighter car. They can push themselves a bit further, and they can get the jump on Craig Corish as long as they have a good lap right now. I mean, luckily they didn't get scuppered by James there in the Aston Martin, and
That's what my thought process was going to as it was happening. I thought, now if they get caught in traffic here behind James Moore in that Aston Martin, that white and purple Aston, then that's going to be brilliant for Craig as he comes out the pits that we're seeing now. And there's Tim Reed and Matthew Massey there just jumping into the pits now.
yeah,
But
John Butler
no,
with a
that was
slow down penalty. Sorry, just quickly, and it has been served. But yeah, being that far off the pack at the moment, he's yeah, I don't think a slowdown is going to affect him too much. But yeah, it's still not ideal.
no, not too much at all, Jimmy. But no, back to what I was just saying. If Adam and Michael did get caught up in that bit of traffic, that would have been brilliant for Craig. But no, he's got himself in and he's out. We'll have to see how the front runners, who the only ones who haven't pitted at the moment, Adam Wilson Weir and Michael Gray, your P1 and your P2 overall, have not pitted. We'll have to see what happens. There you go, both the diving in there together, Jimmy.
Yeah, so we can sit on board with Craig Corish now and just see who gets the advantage with that pit stop. As you can see, quite a bit of smoke in the air. I think someone might have gone off track a little bit, and yeah, we'll have to see how well Michael and Adam do. Whether they are gonna, they're yeah, just dipping into the pit lane now. I wonder if Craig's actually got the better strategy here, because he's coming up to the last two corners now. As those guys are refueling, they're going to
So
have a slow exit. I think Craig's going to have a huge jump on them right now.
I think you are right in this one, Jimmy. Look, I was just about to say Craig's got to have a flawless lap because Adam and Michael did, and it looks like Adam has just picked Michael out of the pits there as well. But is Craig going to stay ahead as they come out?
Oh no, he
No,
actually,
no, he's
yeah,
not. You're quite a bit behind there, Jim. So no, Michael got the jump on Adam there back in the end. Sorry, got it the wrong way around. Michael puts himself back up into P1 for the first time in this race, followed by Adam Wilson Weir, and it didn't work out for Craig Corish pitting in that lap beforehand, but he might have had to, Jim.
yeah. I mean, that is the advantage of, like we said, sitting behind, fuel saving. It allows you to get that extra lap, and then if you get a really good out lap, well, last lap, then before pitting, it can give you that advantage to potentially pull away because Craig Corish was so close. Well, I mean, he's out of the draft at the moment. He's not going to get that
It,
slipstream advantage from the cars in front, so he's going to
now,
have to push
Jim,
even harder.
I have been keeping the tabs on these on the timings between these top three as throughout this whole race so far. It has not gone over 7.5 tenths between the three of them between each other, not as a whole between each other. First time it's dropped over a second. Now Craig's just got himself back into that there, as we see Michael just tracking slightly onto that gravel there, but not affecting him too much. But no, that was the first time it did drop over that second mark there.
Yeah,
So
I think he's only got back in that second because Adam Osawir fell off the back of Michael Gray there, as Mr. Hangover leading the race at the moment, having a great time out in front. But yeah, I think with Adam falling off the back a bit, it has allowed Craig to get back in that tow, get in that slipstream, and yeah, it'll help them all kind of bunch back up as a group.
there you go. And sorry, Jimmy, I've just noticed on the timing boards, and I think I'm correct. I didn't see him in the pits as we steamed past there with these three. Harry Hartley Price looks to have dropped out of the race. So he had that instant. I think he had to pit on lap one. I think I saw it on the board, and he pitted a moment ago, but then he's gone out by the look of it.
Yeah, and just seeing Daniel Paul here mentioning his driver of the day a little bit early, but yeah, I think Curtis MacArthur for his driver of the day at the moment. We'll obviously do the segment in a little bit, but I just thought I'd call to it because, yeah,
No, no,
we haven't really mentioned Curtis so far, but that's because although he's had a bit of an anonymous race, he's had a phenomenal race at the same time. He's he's in with the elites. He's setting just consistent, good, fast lap times, and he's just doing his own thing. He's on his own, not having to worry about a single other person. And yeah, there's the lap times out on there at the moment. So yeah, he's lapping quicker than Tim Reed at the moment. So yeah, you can't fault Curtis MacArthur there.
No, you really, really can't fault him there. He's doing absolutely phenomenal. Like you said, Jimmy, he's making himself not really known out on track because he's just doing his own thing. He's just getting on with it, isn't he? Look, we're 40 minutes into his race, and I don't think I've seen him involved in a single incident. He's just been doing what he's doing, sitting P1 at the top of his class. He's just having a flawless race.
Yeah, like I said, you can't fault it. He's just doing his own thing, just chilling. He's probably blissfully unaware of all the fighting and battling going on behind him. And yeah, and this little I don't know how much you'd call it a fight up at front. I mean, there's been changes of positions and everything, but it's all been through the pits mostly. So yeah, well,
No, no, it really has, Jimmy. But no, look, they've seemed to have settled in a little bit now after the pit. So we're 42 minutes into this race. Michael Gray leading the way, obviously getting that first position from the pits there, with Craig Corrish pitting the lap before him. But Adam Wilson, we're in P2 with Craig Corrish in P3 now. So that has completely swapped around. Took a 180. Craig's gone from P1 to 3. Michael's gone from P3 to 1, and Adam's kept himself in P2 for now. But no, Curtis MacArthur, like we just said, leading the way in the pros, in P4 out on track, P1 for the pros, followed by Tim Reed and Otto Karras, who's taken up P2, and John Harley, P3 for the pros, followed by Matt Massey and Quinton Clumpert. Joseph Greathouse still leading the way for the AMs in P10 out on track at the moment, followed by Christopher Haynes, Raymond Van Zutphen, James Vardigans, and James Moore. With Phil Giles just behind him, Casper Roost, Rob Smith, and Jordan Butler, with only one loss in this race so far, and that is Harry Hartley Price.
yeah, Casper is just getting a quick slowdown penalty there as well, and yeah, 10 seconds off the back of Phil Giles. And Phil Giles, though, getting very close to the back of James Moore. I think he's going to go for that overtake. And if we can cut to him, it'd be interesting to see that little battle going on. But yeah, Phil Giles, there you go, down the inside of James Moore. Gets the better run out of the that corner. And then he gets that lead position. But he has got a decent gap to the next James, of James Vardigans, 2.5 seconds. Oh, sorry, 10.5 seconds to James Vardigan. So I think at this moment in time, Phil Giles's race is pretty set in stone, unless he can find about a minute's worth of pace to find. It's going to be a very, very tough one.
Yeah, to find a minute at the moment, Jim, with the gap that he's got to the cars in front of him. Look, he's got nearly 10 seconds to James Vardigan's up ahead. There's no draft to be had there. He's just got to hope he has a really clean race, and as well with everybody. But no one's really slowing each other down at the moment. Your race at the minute is at the top of the board at the moment. Adam Wilson, we're within half a second of Michael Gray. Everyone else has seemed to have settled in just a little bit as we go into the last 15 minutes of this race. But no, he seems to have been quite aggressive all race in a good way. I don't mean that in a
Oh,
bad
just
way, Jimmy,
quickly,
on
Adam
track.
Wilson-Weir, slow down penalty for going wide on that final turn there on turn 10. So that's going to drop him way off the back of Michael Gray when he serves that, because there's not really a lot of corners to serve a slow down penalty here. So you'll have to lose that time kind of down the straights as well, which will put Craig Corrish right on the back of him.
There you go. So the race might go from P1 and P2 to P2 and P3 just with that slowdown alone. And he's still got to serve it at the minute, Jim, but he's nearly up to a second and a half, just over that now, under 2 seconds to Michael Gray. So he's really had to slow off the back of him there. And but Craig Corrish is now a couple of seconds behind him. That really has split up that little race we were having. But we're back on board with John Harley, who's got himself just over half a second on Otto Karras again. He's really not left him alone in the last about half an hour, has he?
No, I mean John Harley, like he was scrapping hard at the beginning of this race. So yeah, I imagine he'll, given half a chance, will be all over Otto Karras if he gets close enough.
Jimmy,
But
just the YouTube comments. Daniel Paul, rumor has it James Vardigans is now number one driver of Ships Esports. Not too cool. Care to explain a bit more on that one for us, Daniel?
well, I mean, it's going to be an easy name change, isn't it? Going from the number one driver being James to number one driver being James. So
That is very, very true. And these guys do not like to be split up out on track, do they, Jim? Either.
no, I mean they're probably not too happy about Phil Giles splitting the Jameses, but yeah, they generally travel as a pack, which is quite nice to see, to be fair.
I think
And
that's how we ended up with you, actually, because you're also a James. You just tagged along as well at the same time. I was another James, just said, we'll have him. You just
yeah,
wanted to join the broadcasting team.
yeah, we like to group on. We can join the broadcasting team.
You know what I meant.
Who invited who?
We're not going to get into the politics of it and the contract signings here or there or who stalled on what, but there you go. Never mind. I'm just messing around. But no, Jimmy, look, we are now into that last 15 minutes. This is where we do usually start to see these guys really go for it a little bit more than they have been for the previous 45 minutes of the race, because this is where the points now are going to lie for them. And they're going to want to finish up as high as they can because, look, we're going into the last couple of races now after this race.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on some of these drivers. As yeah, like you said, I mean, John Harley he's getting a bit closer. Is he going to make the move on Otto Karas for that podium towards the end? Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye. And yeah, see, have we got any other battles really going on? No, they kind of gapped each other a little bit. Adam Olsen Weir gaining a little bit of time that lap, but a second and a half off. He's out of the slipstream of Michael Gray and Craig Corish here. 2 seconds off the back of Adam Wilson Weir, so they are falling off the pace a little bit. Michael Gray, though, I mean, we talked about at the beginning that he was struggling to set a good qualifying time, struggling with that hangover, and clearly it's not affecting him as much as as you think.
Yeah, not as much as he's let on. He's now what, like I said, a second and a half up now on Adam Wilson. Weir, and I think that's about the biggest gap between P1 and P2 that we've seen all race there, Jim. So a good strategy with the racing, done well sitting back in P3 for as long as he did, and he's now reaping the benefits of it, sitting up in P1, building a nice little gap.
Yeah, he's getting comfortable out there, and with 12 minutes left to go, I think if he can keep this general pace, he's gaining on Adam Wilson Weir now, and I think for yeah, Adam Wilson Weir, you can't really push the car too much because you already seen him going off a couple of times. He doesn't want to risk another slowdown penalty, so we'll have to see if he can find any extra pace as he kind of gains a bit of a tenth here and there, but then he seems to lose it again. I think he's quicker in some parts of the track, and like that importance of staying in the slipstream of each other is pretty high.
Do you think he's a little bit cautious as well, Jimmy, of picking up those penalty points again and getting another slowdown though, more than anything? Because look how much it's affected him on catching Michael Gray at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really gaining. They're all kind of lapping. Well, Michael and Adam are kind of lapping the same lap times now. Look at that, 0.166, 0.233, and there's virtually nothing in it between the two. Craig Corish a little bit slower, about 4 tenths behind, so he's kind of run out of a little bit of pace towards the end, but he's still comfortably in that P3 position. That'd be good points for Craig at the end of the day. Adam Wilson Weir, though, I mean, yeah, he's struggling to find that last couple tenths. He needs to get ahead of Michael Gray to get the win there. That was on the cards earlier on, and seems to be slipping a little bit, but they're all quick drivers, and like we saw earlier, with that slowdown penalty, anything can happen.
No, anything can indeed. And what's happened out here? So we're going to look on board with Casper Roos at the minute, Jimmy. So what's gone on? Has he lost the back end because there's no one else around him?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, there is a lot of cam runs, but the track it's sort of braking uphill, kind of getting back on the throttle very quickly, and then yeah, just loses the back end. It's It's quite surprising to lose the back end there because the camera on the track allows you to kind of flow outwards, but his tyres must have been overheating quite a lot at this point in the race. I mean, 50 minutes in, it's a tough track to manage your tyres on, so it doesn't surprise
No,
me if he's losing a little bit of grip.
no, it really, really is. Sorry, just looking on board here now with Christopher Haynes up the next side of Raymond Van Zutphen, looking for another spot higher up on the leaderboard today. Jimmy just doesn't get it done at the moment, but he's definitely not leaving Raymond alone in front of him for now.
No, they're battling very close together, and yeah, Christopher Haynes 3 tenths behind him. That draft is going to pull them very close to each other. He's going to want to get that move done as soon as he can, but oh, there you go, dives to the inner side. Can he make it stick? No. Raymond Van Zutphen carries a bit more speed around the outside. No, he does get the move done. Carries a lot more minimum speed using that camber of the track on the inside to pull him round. But they're now side by side, and we'll have to see how they get on. I mean, Raymond Zupman's got a bit of an edge going through here. That Porsche seems to like those corners a lot more than the Mercedes, but that Mercedes feels they look stable for the most part, and they look very quick on the straight. So we'll have to see how well they can battle through here as Raymond Van Zutphen goes defensive down that first corner just there.
No, we really, really will, Jimmy. We've seen a couple of little battles now going to be opening up on track. A couple of people are dropping the time. John Harley on Otto Carroll, we've just seen at the moment. John Harley's being so aggressive with these drivers out here today since his incident. But sorry, just before that, though, we look on board with there. What's happened with Phil Giles?
So let's have a look. Goes to the inside to cover off. Oh, he's just letting by the leader of Craig Corrish there. You can see Craig just going round. But does he just pull over?
He just completely stops there. Now, did he mean to do that? Has he pressed his brake a little too hard?
The an odd
And
thing
then
to do, but I think
that is a very, very odd thing to do. I don't think I've ever seen anybody let someone go past them like that by completely stopping. I don't think you can actually do that out on track, Jim, actually completely stop, to be fair. Unless there's
I
been
mean
an
he was
accident or an incident.
he was completely off the line, so I think it's fair to the. I think he's okay to stop where he did. I mean, it's not ideal, and you don't want to make a habit of it. But no, he's out of the race. He's retired. He's just yeah, he's retired his car, and I think he's had enough. It's 8 minutes left to go, and yeah, maybe potentially underfueled the car. We'll have to. I mean, maybe he
Maybe.
was just a bit frustrated from just running in last because of the incident earlier on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy one. We'll see if we do get confirmation of that. No, it could be fuel, it could be frustration, it could be absolutely anything there. But no, if it, like you said, 52 minutes into a race, that's not when you so close to the end. That's not when you're going to want to be finishing, is it?
No, it's not ideal for him at all. But
So
speaking
just
of
looking at
ideal
on,
though, Adam Wilson-Weir, sorry, just quickly gaining now on the car on Michael Gray, going from 1.6 to 1.7 seconds behind, now 1.2 to 1.3 seconds behind. He's gaining a lot of pace over these last couple of laps. Now he's down to a second. As Jordan Butler though gets black flagged and yellow flagged, so I think that will be incident point reached, I'd imagine, from going off track there, and yeah, that's not ideal for Jordan at all, as he was getting quite close to Rob Smith to maybe fight for another position there. Yeah, but served to slow down. But yeah, Jordan Butler, black flag penalty.
no, and that is very unfortunate. 53 and a half minutes into this race, that is definitely something that's going to be pretty much saying the end of his race tonight. So we'll just see out these last few laps he will. But no, John Harley, sorry, Jimmy, looking at Otto Carris again. We've seen it so many times here this evening in this position. Is John Harley going to get the moves on Otto Carris again, or is Otto Carris going to be able to keep the spot on John?
Yeah, he keeps a defensive line, but takes a very, very narrow line in there. So John Harley gets a way, way better exit coming out of that corner because he was able to just open up the steering a lot more and carry a lot more minimum speed through there. But Otto Carris does well to keep it still down the inside. I think John Harley's got the slight advantage on pace because of the extra speed he carried, and it's down to Otto Carris now to try and fight for that position once again as he turns the car of John Harley, but he stops on track, lets him get ahead. I got a lot of respect for that because a lot of people would have just carried on going, but no, Otto did not want to get position that way. But it does allow Matthew Massey to catch right up to the back of them. But no, fair play to Otto Karras, and yeah, I think John Harley will be unhappy but happy with the with the way that Otto played that, I gotta say. But Gaz, just quickly, 5 minutes left to go. I think it's
Yes,
time we start talking about those drivers of the day. I mean, as you're taking our driver of the day, would you like to go first and let everyone know who you're going to pick?
yeah. I was looking back at my notes. I was looking back at his previous races and everything like that, and it's someone we haven't spoken about a lot. But I've got to give it to Raymond today, and it's one of those. He's had an absolute quality race out there. I believe, if my notes are correctly, this is his highest finish all season. If he maintains the P2 position here behind Joseph Greathouse, there is a bit of a gap for him to catch up in these last 5 minutes. But no, it's going to be for me. It's going to be Raymond. Look, he's had a solid, consistent race out there. So no, for me it's going to be Raymond. But Jimmy, would you let us know on your pro?
Yep, my pro driver of the day, and I did wax lyrical about him earlier on in the race when Daniel Paul mentioned him as well. But it's got to be Curtis MacArthur. He has just been so consistent, so quick, And I know he's not been, he's not really been racing anyone out there, but to have that sort of pace to be keeping up with the elites, keeping ahead of the elite of Tim Reed as well, finishing obviously above Harry Hartley Price there, although he is out of the race. I mean, Curtis MacArthur's had a bit of a blinder, even though he's been anonymous in the broadcast. He's done very well to get some solid points out there this evening.
See, that's what I'm saying, Jimmy, and I think that's why I completely agree with you on Curtis there, and that's why I chose Raymond, because they've just kind of slipped under the radar and just had completely solid races. It's been great to see from some of these guys who don't necessarily get all the camera time out there because they're not involved in all the instances or out there in the massive scrap. Sorry, just talking of a massive scrap, Jimmy. Michael Gray looking on Adam Wilson, we're getting within that 10th almost.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Wilson-Weir getting ahead of Michael Gray there. He started off 1.7 seconds back. We didn't think he was going to be able to get the move done, and now he's caught up, and not only caught up, he overtook Michael Gray. So he is flying out there on track, which does lead us into our cameraman behind the scenes, Connor here, and he is giving us his drive of the day as Adam Wilson-Weir. Consistent all day, great outing and yeah, great driving from Adam there as he gets into that P1 position, and you can't fault it. I mean, he was looking to get that move. He was itching to get in front of the drivers early on, and he got that position done. And yeah, I think a win is now on the cards for Adam. Shake that order up a little bit. Michael Gray probably not overly happy. Look at him pushing so hard. He'd gone off track there, wanting to catch back up. And again, Adam Wilson-Weir though goes off. Does he get the slowdown penalty? Oh, I think he did well to
Does
avoid
it
it that
seem to
time. Did
done very,
very
very
well.
well there, Jimmy. No, but so I've got to tag on to that one real quick. Definitely getting the elite driver of the day, and I think it was a perfect timing with that overtake with Michael Gray getting himself up into P1 as well. But no, absolutely fantastic drive from him out there. And look, he's gaining a little bit of time on Michael at the minute. Got himself just over half a second. He is absolutely flying in these last 5 minutes. We're going up into what the last minute and a half of this race in just a few moments' time. And it's a real battle out here for P1 at the moment, but it seems to be going Adam's way for now as it just falls within that half a second. It's really just around that mark. Though, can Michael get it done though, Jim? What is your thoughts going into the end of this race?
Both drivers are pushing as hard as we can. We saw it with both of them going off at the end of last lap. And after this lap, they've got one more to go before it is white flag. And yeah, I think depending on how much these guys are pushing, I think it could come down to just if any of them makes the slightest mistake, then the other one gets the win. Because I mean, 4 tenths behind them. Look how much track they're using. They're using everything, and yeah, it's one slight slip
Right.
could
No, it really could, Jimmy. I'll tell you what, though, I just want to quickly look at before we do get to the end of this race. I just want to have a quick look at that Adam Wilson Weir overtake on Michael Gray just a few moments ago. If that is all right with our cameraman, because I believe we did just miss it. So there you go. So you got Adam coming in with the white stripe on the top of his car just behind there. It's track out wide from Michael Gray, which allows Adam to get up on the inside of that corner and get up ahead into P1. So it's a good overtake. Little bit of a mistake there from Michael, and he's kept it, but
Oh,
it's
as
still
Michael goes
within.
round, Michael goes
Michael has
round.
spun. Michael has spun going for it. I was going to say, Jimmy, he's still sitting about
Craig
4 tenths
Corish.
behind.
Craig Hoare stealing P2 on the final lap of the race. You could see how much Michael Gray was pushing at the end there to try and get keep fighting with Adam. I think Adam now is in a position where 6 seconds ahead. He can lift off a little bit. He can keep the car in a good window, not have to worry about going wide and or losing traction anywhere. Oh, that's a big change of events. And Michael Gray, that I mean. Yeah, that's not ideal for him right at the end. Yeah,
No.
like as Marshmallow says in chat, he's got to be devastated. And but we are on the last lap. This is Adam Wilson-Weir going round the final few corners here. I believe this is going to be, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, this will be his win, and he has fought hard for it. And yeah, Michael Gray there, sadly he's down to P3, but that is still a great position for him. He's done very well to be there. Craig Corish probably thanking the gods out there, or anyone just for that P2, because that's going to be phenomenal points for him as well. I mean, great racing from all the leaders as we go around the final corner, and that will be Adam Wilson-Weir, our leader of the race. Little flash, little wiggle there, and he's got to be ecstatic with that one. closely followed behind by Craig Corish getting P2, and that is Michael Gray, P3 in the elites and overall in this race.
No, there you go, Jimmy. And I think you said it right there. I think Adam's going to be ecstatic with that win, but that is really, really from for Michael Gray, who was absolutely chasing him down, got himself back within that half a second, and then just took that spin, which kind of finished his chasing for P1 off there. But no, great win from Adam Wilson, whereas we're sitting on down with Curtis McCarthy. He rounds the last corner, taking the P1 home for the pros, followed by Tim Reed there. And John Harley's going to come round and take that P2 for the pros, with Otto Karis going to be slipping in there, taking that last podium spot, P3 for the day there. Great racing from everybody so far. Matt Massey crossing the line with Quinton Clumpert just coming in behind him. And I do love that new livery, by the way. But there's Joseph Greathouse, your P1 in the AMS again this week here at the Red Bull Ring, with Raymond Van Zutphen coming over the line in P2. And it looks like Christopher Haynes will be following up in P3 as well. But there's Raymond crossing over in P2. And there's Christopher, with James Vardigan's right on his tail, but can't do it on the last corner just before the end, taking home P3. And James Vardigan's taking home P4. And everybody else crossing the line there. Jimmy, what a fantastic race. We saw lots of racing today.
Yeah, I mean, there was some crazy, crazy battles going on there. Sadly, we had a few more incidents than we'd ideally like to see. I mean, we don't really want to see any, but it does make for a bit of an exciting broadcast. But from P1 down to P19, we have Adam Wilson Weir leading the way in P1. Well done to him for winning the race. Craig Corish in P2. Michael Gray is your top three in the elites and top three overall. We have Curtis MacArthur. Phenomenal race from him, getting P4 but P1 in class. Followed by Tim Reed, John Harley, Otto Karis, Matthew Massey, Quinton Clumpert, Joseph Greathouse. Another good win from him there with the close battle between all the AMs and getting P10 overall, followed by Raymond Van Zutphen, Christopher Haynes, James Vardigans, Rob Smith, James Moore, Jordan Butler, Casper Roost, Phil Giles, and Harry Hartley Price. So that's your 19 drivers out on track. Well done to all of them. They put on a heck of a race for us this evening.
That was absolutely phenomenal, Jimmy. We saw lots of fighting on tonight's race, and that was something that was definitely going to be expected there. On the GT3 calendar, it's known for it, and we definitely got it here tonight. Look, shall we start speaking to a couple of these drivers?
Yep, let's bring in our leader, Adam Wilson Weir, first, and I think he'll
Yeah,
be.
yeah, let's find out what he's thinking. Adam, good evening. Congratulations on that P1, mate. That was an interesting race to say the least. How did you find it, mate? And what about that ending for you there?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tricky track to overtake on. So, I mean, there was no way I was passing Craig in the first stint. So, I think me and Michael were just kind of fuel saving behind to try and get the jump. Obviously, he got a bit of a better jump on me in the pits, and he came out ahead. But it was unfortunate what happened to him. I think he clipped the curb, but we could have had a good race. But we did have a good race at the end whenever he got back on. I
Yeah,
think he had a mistake the first time or so.
no, it was phenomenal to watch, mate, especially right at the end. Then, like you said, it was really unfortunate what happened to Michael Gray, because he did get himself back within half a second on you. Because your pace right at the end there was absolutely phenomenal. You were so fast in those last probably 5-6 minutes completely. Well, you were fast overall, mate, but you were really really quick there, and you got the P1. Really unfortunate with Michael Gray, mate, but that takes nothing away from you. You had a phenomenal race.
Yeah, as soon as they overtook him, it was kind of like a switch clicked, and it was like focus mode, you know.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Look, we don't like to keep you guys for too long. So, congratulations again on the P1 overall and P1 in class. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah, I just want to, as usual, thank you for the whole team here and putting on a good show, all the drivers and everyone watching. Yeah, it's been a great race, so thank you.
No, you are more than welcome, mate. And look, we shall catch you on the next one. We shall see you next week. All right.
Yeah, have all the best and good night.
See you later, mate. There you go, Jimmy. So that was our P1 in the elite. Shall we speak to our P1 in the pros? Shall we get a Mr. Curtis MacArthur in here?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Curtis. Sorry, caught you off guard there, mate.
Oh
First
no,
of all,
that's all
good
right.
evening.
Good
But
evening.
congratulations on that P1 in class there, mate. Absolutely phenomenal race from you there. Didn't seem to have any issues, any problems whatsoever. How did you find it?
It was. To be honest with you, I think I got a little bit lucky with John and Otto getting caught up with each other at the start. I built a gap up, thought I was managing my tyres, and then them two started catching me towards the end of the race, and I was twitching.
I know, mate. You were absolutely fine. You were flying up ahead there. You had Tim Reed, the elite, sitting in between you and John and Otto there. But John and Otto were having their own little fight pretty much for the entirety of that race. I don't think you had too much to worry about. So no, congratulations, mate, on that P1. No, real interesting race. And but no, we don't like to keep you guys for too long, mate. So anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to before we let you go?
Just shout out to W Energy, Simworks, and that's it.
No, there you go, mate. Look, congratulations again. It's been a great race, and hopefully you give us some more interesting racing next week. So we should catch you then.
Yep. See you next week.
See you later, mate. You have a good one.
You too.
There you go, mate. P1 in the pros. And talking of the pro category, shall we get our P2 in here? Shall we get John Harley in, Jim?
Yeah, let's have a little chat with him.
There you go. Good evening, John. P2,
hello,
congratulations.
Hello.
How did you
thank
find
you very
that
much. I don't even know how that happened. I had a pretty bad first lap and had to make a comeback, but yeah, here I am in P2.
Well, mate, it was a great race, and look, you were giving us some great viewing out there. I think we spent most of our time with you because you were just fighting with someone. You had some great racing out there with Otto, and you got the move done towards the end there. It was some great racing, though, mate, that we saw. The audience at home, I'm sure, will agree with me. Jim, I'm sure you'll definitely agree with me as well. John, I think you gave us some phenomenal driving out there today. Yes, you had the incident right at the start, but no, you got your head down straight after that, and boy, you made some moves because look, P2, you finished in ultimately in the end.
Yeah, thank you. I kind of saw a little bit of red straight after that incident because I was hoping for a good race, and yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of fighting in the pack there, and yeah, I got out in front, and I made a mistake with the fuel. I underfueled the car, so I had to pit early, which put me out behind Otto. So I had to come and try and chase him down. And I got to say props to Otto because we had a little incident towards the end of the race there, and he redressed, which is real class of him. Thanks to him for that. But yeah, I need a shower. I'm so sweaty.
Well, there you go, mate. Look, we don't like to keep you guys for too long, so get yourself gone, mate, and we shall catch you on the next one.
Just one more thing. Can I make a shout out to Spectra Racing and
Of course.
Simworks UK and W Energy Drinks, our sponsors, and just a shout out to Ryan and Jay, our team leaders. They always put in a lot of effort to help us along and help practice and put on servers and stuff. So yeah, thanks.
No, there you go, mate. There you go, and thank you for joining us as well as one of the drivers out there. 'Cause it's always interesting having you. Look, congratulations again, mate, and we shall see you on the next one.
Thanks very much.
See you later, mate. There you go, Jimmy. So that is it with our pros. But shall we speak to someone who we spoke to, I think, for most weeks now in our leader, our P1 in the AMS? Let's get Joseph Great out in here. Joseph, congratulations again. I seem to be having this conversation with you every week, mate. But congratulations on the P1 finish. How did you find it?
Well, thank you. Really, it was with staying in the pack of a bunch of cars with all the draft and being able to pull away from second place on the AMs. The draft really helped down long straights.
No, look, you've been really dominant all race. You've been really dominant all season, mate. You've absolutely, I think, blown everyone else out of the park, and it's taken a lot of these guys to catch up with you. But no, I think you've been P1 pretty consistently, mate. So you're giving us some great viewing, and it's great to see a great driver out there, especially a new one joining us this season. So hope to see it continue, mate. Hope to see it continue. Is there a track that you're not going to finish P1 on, though? That's what I'm interested in finding out.
Oh, I don't know because I bought most of these tracks and I haven't learned most of them yet, but we'll see.
We'll see, my mate. Look, we'll see. Look, we don't like to keep you guys for too long. So before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Thanks and to my friends and family to support me and you guys broadcasting and hosting the session.
You are more than welcome, mate. Look, we shall catch up with you next week. All right, my man?
Yep, see ya.
See you later, mate. There you go, Jimmy. So I think that is going to round it out from all of our drivers that we're going to speak to today. But I'm sure you can agree that was a fantastic race, wasn't it? I think that's been my favourite all season.
Yeah, they put on a really good show for us. There's some really, really good battles in there. Some, yeah, very entertaining moves being made. But yeah, what a fun race. But sadly, that is now checkered flag from us here at the Red Bull Ring and checkered flag from us here at Trackside Broadcasting. Gaz, any final words?
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. And that is another great race to tie up on Monday evening. And I'm already looking forward to the next one. You know what's coming. I'm going to let everybody know in just a second. But we are creeping ever so much closer to the end of the season now. Race 6 coming up next. Again, though, before we go, I just want to say thank you to Spectra Racing, Clark St. James Motorsport, and Murby Goes for sponsoring us this season, and to the Tanzo Racing Group for hosting us and letting us bring you all of the action each and every single week. Look, it's goodbye to Austria for now. Jimmy, everyone, we are headed over to Spain next week as we go race around Barcelona. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, though. And thank you to all the drivers out there tonight. Make sure you all drop a like and subscribe on the video. And so you never miss a race with us. And we shall catch you on the next one. Have a good week, everybody. And thank you for joining us here at Trackside Broadcasting. Good night.
You feel so lost.